And we go back to our top story. Joining us on the line for more is Jasmine Opperman, security expert. Good evening to you, Jasmine, and thanks so much for joining us. The Thulsie brothers now being put as a persona non grata and on the terror list on the U.S. What implications does this have for South Africa?
Good evening, and good evening to your listeners. It has severe implications, severe in terms of that it directly indicates that there must be information that has been liaised via the U.S. to South Africa in terms of providing evidence that they were actually involved in the intent of executing an attack. The problem is, according to the most recent reports, the information gathered was done via entrapment. Now, entrapment is not, or information gathered from entrapment is not admissible in a court of law in South Africa. So the question can be asked, if entrapment was used by the FBI indeed, how can such information be used against the Thulsie brothers? Secondly, the second implication is, what are the long-term effects this is going to have by implicating the Thulsie brothers, an extended court case, where we need to stand together in South Africa, where we need to build bridges between diverse communities? Is this case going to actually to counter and negate such attempts being made?
Yeah, because we can interpret it in various ways, as you're saying, that this is a confirmation, if you will, of the real threat that the Thulsie brothers may have posed. And because, you know, when the U.S. sneezes, the rest of us catches pneumonia. How do we interpret all of this?
All of this is the fact that we're sitting with a court case of Thulsie brothers that were prevented at Oliver Tambo International Airport from going to Syria. One, why were they sent back into the community, or sent back to the community without any support, without any attempt to engage in de-radicalization, indeed, if radicalization has taken place? Secondly, if indeed they are to be found guilty, what does it say about the Islamic State presence in South Africa? I've written numerous articles in terms of where I said, be careful, do not be obsessed with those returning. Look at what's happening on home soil already. And it is going to be an indication of revisiting our analysis on terrorism and South Africa and where we stand today.
I mean, Jasmine, we've had lengthy discussions as well just on how vulnerable we are as South Africans and our naivety in that we're a neutral country, friendly to everybody, united in our diversity, that there isn't an imminent risk as we've seen in the UK, Paris, London, etc. But, you know, the whole thing is about the Islamic extremists using innovative and different methods of recruitment. Do you think that we have adequate measures and security around them recruiting new members?
I would hope, because we need to understand that the Islamic State has moved into a new phase. They're acting now as an international terror organization, much more as a governance when the caliphate was up and running, and South Africa will definitely be a target. So our security establishment has time on its side. It has time to rethink, reevaluate, and implement the required measures. But the essence here, and we've seen it in Europe, we've seen it in the UK, where early warning information was provided to intelligence services on some of these attacks, and they failed to respond to such information. It's a trap that we must not follow in South Africa. Build the bridges, maintain cooperation, and South Africa will be put in a position to act on early warning indicators from communities.
Well, thank you so much, Jasmine, for speaking to us this evening. That's Jasmine Opperman, a security expert, a reaction to the Thulsie brothers being put on the U.S. high-risk alert list or terrorist, that they're not able to travel in most parts of the world.